Hello, everyone. I'm back. It's Monday night, so you know what that means. means we're uh, means we're live. That's what it means. If you're in the chat, let me know if you're there. How does the audio sound? Tonight I'll be reading this entire book out loud. No, I'm kidding. But I did just get this in the mail. It was one of those ones we were looking at the other day. Let me put it right in the glare so you can't see what it is. I'll put it over here. Ugh. There we go. Anyways, looks pretty cool. I have not read it yet. Just came in the mail today. But maybe we'll look at that later. It looks interesting. I mean, how can you not buy a book that's called Anti-Oedipus, Capitalism and Schizophrenia, with a preface by Michel Foucault? I mean, how do you see that and not buy it? I mean, it's just like not possible. I don't even understand. Let's read the back, shall we? There's a quote from Michel Foucault from the preface: "An introduction to the non-fascist life." Okay, all right. When it first appeared in France, Anti-Oedipus, aka this book, was hailed as a masterpiece. They used the word masterpiece? Come on, master? You claiming you're not fascist? Come on. Anyways, a masterpiece by some and a work of heretical madness by others. I feel like we're onto something here. Arousing more controversy than any other work in the field of philosophy. That really shows how ignorant I am, because I had never heard of this until like a week ago. In it, French names, man. I think, if I know I have some French people who watch this. Maybe you can help me out. Gilles Deleuze. I'm pretty sure I said that right. Gilles Deleuze and Felix Guattari. I'm pretty sure that's accurate. Set forth the following theory. Western society's innate herd instinct has allowed the government, the media, and even the principles of economics to take advantage of each person's unwillingness to be cut off from the group. That sounds pretty good so far. What's more, those who have mental disorders may not be insane. You hear that, guys? Might be in the clear. But could be individuals in the purest sense, because they are by nature isolated from society. Okay, I kind of get the argument. We have a herd mentality. We don't want to be cut off from the group, so we do a bunch of shit. And then people who have mental disorders, and I'm sure they're using that word specifically, not like, all mental disorders. Maybe they mean all of them. They may not be insane, but maybe they're individuals in the purest sense, because they are by nature isolated from society. So obviously we're using the word individual in a specific way here. Anti-Oedipus, more than any other intersection of Marx and Freud, renders palpable the metaphor of the unconscious as a worker, and does it in a brilliant, appropriately nutty way. Get it? They're calling him crazy. Jeez. Just looking at the look at the table of contents. Don't you love it when there's this kind of table of contents? I mean, dang. What the? More. Looks pretty cool. Sorry, I have a little bit of a cold, so I might be sniffling and clearing my throat quite a bit. We must die as egos and be born again in the swarm, not separate and self-hypnotized, but individual and related. Henry Miller, Sexus. Henry Miller. Henry Miller. Henry Miller. Who's that? Might have to look that up. I was doing a little research today. Check this out. I was looking for something earlier, and I remember this article, or it was like a paper I had read from Stanford a while. This was like years ago, like probably like at least 10 years ago. And I knew it was Stanford, and they were talking about people on meth and how they couldn't tell the difference between people on meth and like Adderall. Like they exhibited the same stuff. Like clinically, they wouldn't be able to tell if you're on. I mean, they were making some comparisons. So I was trying to find it. So I looked up Stanford meth, ADHD, Adderall. And look what it puts in the search. Help is available. Speak with someone today. 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. I'm like, what? That's weird. Kind of strange. Maybe we'll go over some of this today. But let me look up Henry Miller, a novelist and essayist. I don't really care about his life. I want to know what he said out of that context. That didn't really help. Maybe I should have read about his life. The Air-Conditioned Nightmare. About his year-long road trip across the United States in 1940. Funny. Big Sur and the Oranges of Hieronymus Bosch. Dude, do you know who Hieronymus... I don't know if I'm saying that right. Hieronymus Bosch. Do you know who that is? Ever heard of him? I will show you. Hieronymus Bosch. This guy had some weird stuff, man. Artworks. The garden. Let's go on a little trip into the garden. A little nature trip. It's a triptych. Ah, get it? Trip. Let's see. It's loading. For all you Gen Z and Gen Alpha out there, this is my experience of the internet when I was a kid. Exactly this. I don't know what the hell is going on right now. I should just make this a piece of artwork. I think I'll clip this later and make this a piece of artwork called The Internet 1998. Alright. So. Alright, we're done. Cool. Whoa, that is a... Oh, cool. Wow. Look. Okay, it's like a high-res image. Maybe that's why. There's a little owl there. Hey, we can go anywhere we want. This is cool. Okay. In the chat, all one of you, if you want to tell me where to go, if you see something that tickles your fancy, let me know. But I'm just going to look around. I don't know what the hell this is. The Garden of Earthly Delights. Let's look. Okay, so it's a 5-panel triptych. I see 3 panels. Okay, well, whatever. The Garden of Lusts. Whoa, 1490? That's crazy. That is crazy. Okay. A warning against the perils of temptation. That's what people interpret because he was religious. Let's see what he was all about. Is this specific to him? Illustrious Brotherhood of Our Blessed Lady. A religious confraternity. Okay. Founded in 1318 in Hertogenbosch to promote The veneration of the Mother of God. I mean, guys, how retarded do you have to be to believe that God had a mother? Okay. The Brotherhood was organized around a carved wooden image and the Virgin of... Okay. All right. Anyways, oh, 5 panels. Okay, so it closes up and then you get this. Huh. Okay, so it's the left is the Garden of Eden, the middle is the Garden of Earthly Delights, and the right panel is Hell. God is absent from the central panel, unlike his other ones. The panel shows humanity acting with apparent free will as naked men and women engage in various pleasure-seeking activities. Seriously, when you're like, when people are like, "Oh, you think the Earth's flat?" I mean, look at this picture, and I'm like, you're showing me a flat circle. What do you want me to tell you? The joining of Adam and Eve. These people were perverted, man. Eve avoids Adam's gaze, although she is shown seductively presenting her body to Adam. Adam's expression is one of amazement. I mean, yeah, I'd be like, yo, what's up? Nice hair. Or lack of? From the intensity of Adam's gaze, it might be that he is experiencing sexual arousal for the first time. Okay, let's just look at it, because this is like spoiler alert, you know? Spoiler alert. But maybe we can come back to it, and we'll see what we see, and then we'll come back. Okay, so let's see what they're talking about. Oh, that's not interesting. Let's look at his face. Yeah, real excited there, guys. Let's see. I don't think that interpretation was accurate. It doesn't seem too aroused. Oh, wow, that's quite a bit of little detail there. Interesting. Okay. Let's look at, what do we got? This creature crawling out of the water. Ooh, look at him. He's having a good day. Looks like their cat caught a lizard. That guy's got a frog. The monkey is riding on the elephant's back. Okay. What the fuck is that? What the hell is that? Oh. I know you guys were missing out on my picture. I don't know what that is. Let me do this. What is that? Here we go. Look at this guy having a gay old time. He's hawking up something. What's going on over here? Look at the cracks in the painting. Must have been an oil painting. See what we got going on over here. Okay, we got a unicorn. Hey, look at that. Muad'Dib. You think that's Muad'Dib? Muad'Dib. That. I don't know what that is. Lots of animals eating lizards. It seems to be a common theme. There's like a pheasant or something. There's a bird's asshole. Thanks, Hieronymus. Appreciate that little detail. This guy was tripping. Trip. What? What is that? He's got a hoodie on. A short sleeve hoodie. Reading a book. Wait a second. Is he reading Anti-Oedipus? Let's see. Oh, what the hell, dude? I think this guy was just like... What was that? That was my phone. Man, this is some wild stuff. Look at that thing. What's this little guy over here? Oh, come on. Why is it loading? You know what the problem is? I think I should have used Chrome. My Firefox doesn't work very well for some reason. Look, it's just loading. You can't see it, but it's like doing that pinwheel thing. Come on. Let me, I'm going to pull up. Well, now my computer's just glitching out. It's not even letting me type or anything. Let me... I'm going to do a force quit on my Firefox over here. Firefox and Chrome. That's weird. Okay, I think Chrome might be working again. Yeah, it was just Firefox being weird. Let me I'm gonna put my chat overlay back up because I'm not gonna be able to see it because I closed Firefox. Let me switch over to a different window. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay. There we go. All right. I'm going to open Firefox back up real quick just so I can get the chat. There we go. Chat's back. All right. Cool. Dan Simmons was referring to? What do you mean? In what context? Do you mean like, is that a reference to, It's loading again. Jeez. Oh, great. What happened to our really cool... Let me see. I liked that version we were looking at. I wonder if there's anything else I can zoom in on. That was so good. Aw. I think it just crashed Firefox because it was so like intensive. Data intensive. Okay, let's try this. Let me see. No, that's not going to work. I can't zoom? What the heck, guys? It's not working. Let me see. What about this? Moist. That was weird. Garden of Earthly Delights. Let me see if I can get a better one. No, that's not it. For some reason, the Firefox one let me... Oh, I can download it? Well, is that going to work, though? I don't know if it'll let me share that picture easily. Maybe. Okay, it's just downloading. Oh, man, there's some wild stuff going on over in the middle panel. Like, really weird. Okay, let me see if I can get this up here. Okay, I've got it over here. Let me see. Oh yeah, that works. Okay. Let me see if I can share that window. Window capture. Let me see here. This is a preview document. Here we go. All right. Fit to screen. Okay, there we go. Let me see if I can get this over here. Whoa. Is there like a hand? Oh wait, I could do... No, stop it. No. Okay, well, we do what we can. I feel like something's cut off though. They didn't... No, maybe not. Let's see. I'm seeing something kind of interesting in the middle here. Shoom. All right. Bunch of naked dudes riding horses. Look at this guy. What is this guy doing? What was the bird doing? He's like, peekaboo. I think this guy was just like, I want to draw something kind of pornographic and was like, oh, if I make it religious, this person's upside down on the top of a giant bird. Oh, look, the bird is being held up by a bunch of nudes. The bird is sitting... Am I using the word right? Legs akimbo? Is that why I use that word? Legs akimbo. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. The bird with legs akimbo. With lady on top. Okay, I can use my mouse to scroll around here. That's cool. I like... This is weird. So is that must be Jesus there. So he's got a body already in the Garden of Eden. And he's basically like, this is your woman. Okay. And let's see what we got here. This guy's upside down with a weird egg or something on top. Got some people in here in a giant fruit. This guy's got a space helmet on over here. I can't get over this one though. That's very weird. Here's a bunch of people with a giant strawberry looking thing on top of them. What the heck, dude? Wait, what's going... I thought maybe it was like aliens or something. There's a giant butt. Oh. A darkened figure in the boat. Somali pirates, perhaps. This is some weird stuff, man. Like, look at this. Like, what was he thinking when he made this? Again with the branch. What was this guy thinking? He really liked drawing branches. Uh-oh, eating the fruit. He's like, Eve, if you had brought me one of these giant strawberries, we could have saved all this trouble. Here's a weird situation with an owl. This woman's like, so are you actually a blueberry? I feel like it's kind of like racist too. He was like, in the beginning, there was only a white man, a white woman, and Jesus. And also Muad'Dib, the desert mouse. And then the fall. People sitting upside down. Somali pirates. When did the mermaids come into play? Help me, I'm stuck in a blueberry. What? What is this? It's like straight out of 1984. You know that scene with Winston Smith, right? And they put the rat in the cage. Winston Smith, predicted in 1510 by Hieronymus Bosch. Ah, yes, the nubile black woman, the forbidden fruit. Look above it. Talking about this situation? Look at this guy right here. It looks like George Washington. What's up with these weird plastic glass tubes? It's a pretty realistic looking fish. Here's a duck feeding a berry to a man. Here's a man with flowers sticking out of his butt. I feel like this is where Monty Python, the animator for Monty Python, got a lot of his ideas from. Look at this situation. And on that day, God created the cheerleading squad. What? There's a giant fish just like randomly up in the sky. Oh man. And we haven't even gotten to hell yet. Alright. What an interesting... Damn. Look at the nuts on that thing. Let's go look at hell. Let me zoom out first. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Well. Okay, so here's hell. Huh. We've got a nun. Oh, you can't see it. Hold on, let me move myself out of the way. I'll be floating right there, looking the wrong way. We've got this nun pig. This little bird. It's got like knight's armor, the helmet thing, and then it's got like a severed foot hanging down from like the spine of it. We have some dogs feasting on a man. This weird creature climbing on this guy. There's a knife through the hand here with a cube on it. Oh, let me zoom in. Here we go. This guy's got a knife through that hand, or a sword. Let me zoom out a little bit. Oh, it's a die. Jeez, man, this is like dark. Never play. You'll be forced to play dice until you die, and for into eternity. You'll have the music of the spheres written upon your ass. Whoa, jeez. The harp strings are like through the person's body. Why didn't they show us this in Sunday school? Yeah. This guy has an arrow in his ass. What did this guy do? They're like arresting him in hell. Oh, you can't see it. Hold on. You'll love this. Ah. I'm going to put myself back here, and then I'm just going to turn off my camera for a moment. This guy right here, they're like arresting him. What do you have to do to get arrested there? They're like, you're... Maybe he's the guy shooting arrows at everybody. Sir, you are too naughty for hell. Now you have to go to jail. To hell jail. It's actually a pretty cool painting. I mean, look at that light. Look at that. Right this way, sir. Here's a Bene Gesserit. Oh, look at this. Look at this dude. Whoa, what's he about? Sam Smith's final form. You will play cards in the body cavity of Sam Smith. This guy blowing on this oboe looking thing, and there's like a guy in the top of it. This weird creature playing the drum with a guy inside of it. That was like this guy's idea of hell. He really didn't like being stabbed in the hand. He really did not like dice games. And music. He was not into music, and he really didn't like birds, especially ice skating birds. Look at this guy's got his own yacht. What? Who are these guys? This guy's yachting? This guy's over here ice skating? This reminds me of that guy from Pee Wee Herman. Remember Francis? You ever see like that Pee Wee Herman movie? And the guy's got like that giant bathtub, but it's like a small pool, and that's like his bathtub, and he's got like all those like big like ships and stuff. The lady covered in daddy long legs. What is this guy doing? Oh, who's this blue bird guy? With like a fire in his ass? Dude, that's creepy. Look at that. I wonder if anyone ever tried to play this song before. The Ass Song. Let's see if I can read it. Let me see if I can sight read it. Let's see here. Okay, key of F. Let's see. Where's C at? No. Can't read it. Do 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 do. I think it's that song. All right, well, that was fucking weird. Let's see, let me get rid of this. That was very weird. Very... Let's see if it has anything about them. Center panel. Okay. The setting is not the paradise shown in the left. Yeah, that was such a paradise on the left. Nor is it based in the terrestrial realm. Fantastic creatures mingle with the real. Otherwise, ordinary fruits appear engorged to a gigantic size. The figures are engaged in diverse amorous sports. Amorous sports. And activities, both in couples and in groups. Gibson describes them as behaving overtly and without shame. Many of the numerous human figures revel in an innocent, self-absorbed joy as they engage in a wide range of activities. Some appear to enjoy sensory pleasures. Others play unself-consciously in the water, and yet others cavort in meadows with a variety of animals, seemingly at one with nature. Where's the problem here? In the middle of the background, a large blue globe resembling a fruit pod rises in the middle of the lake. In the middle of the background, visible through its circular window, there is a man holding his right hand close to his partner's genital, and the bare buttocks of yet another figure hovering in the vicinity. According to Franger, the eroticism of the center frame should be considered either as an allegory of spiritual transition or a playground of corruption. Not sure which. Not sure which there. Like, the guy was just, like, crazy. And they're like, well, but it must mean something. He was such a religious person. Like, on the right-hand side of the foreground, there is a group of 4 figures standing 3 white and 1 black skinned. The white skinned figures, 2 males and 1 female, are covered from head to foot in light brown body hair. Huh. No, butts and hovering. Butt music. Yeah, seriously. Uh, Naked figures seek pleasure in various ways. Ah, yes. Seeking pleasure. What are they just standing there with apples on their head? The pools in the fore and background contain bathers of both sexes. In the central circular pool, the sexes are mostly segregated, with several females adorned by peacocks and fruit. 4 women carry. Yeah, exactly. If 4 women carry cherry-like fruits on their heads, perhaps a symbol of pride at the time, as has been deduced from the contemporaneous saying, "Don't eat cherries with great lords. They'll throw the pits in your face." Ah, yes. What? Is that a saying? Don't eat cherries with great lords. They'll throw the pits in your face. The women are surrounded by a parade of naked men riding horses, donkeys, unicorns, camels, and other exotic or fantastic creatures. Several men show acrobatics while riding, apparently acts designed to gain the female's attention, which highlights the attraction felt between the two sexes as groups. The right panel illustrates hell. In a single densely detailed scene, the viewer is made to witness cities on fire in the background, torture chambers, large explosions, various distressed or tortured figures. Some are shown vomiting or excreting. Others are crucified by harp and lute, in an allegory of music. What's the allegory? Thus sharpening the contrast between pleasure and torture. What's the meaning here? A choir sings from a score inscribed on a pair of buttocks, part of a group that has been described as the musician's hell. What? Like if I was a musician, I'm like, you know what would be hell? Having a choir sing from a score on my ass. I can't imagine anything worse. The focal point of the scene is the tree man, whose cavernous torso is supported by what could be contorted arms or rotting tree trunks. His head supports a disc populated by demons and victims parading around a huge set of bagpipes. Okay, now I get it. Often used as a dual sexual symbol. Bagpipes? Reminiscent of human scrotum and penis? They see a pair of bagpipes and they're like, it's clearly sexual imagery, right? And you're like, how do you figure? They're like, I mean, look at it. It looks like a scrotum and penis. Like, I honestly did not notice that. But to these guys, it's obvious. The tree man's torso is formed from a broken eggshell. Okay, I can kind of... And the supporting trunk has thorn-like branches which pierce the fragile body. A gray figure in a hood bearing an arrow jammed between his buttocks climbs the ladder into the tree man's central cavity, where nude men sit in a tavern-like setting. The tree man gazes outwards beyond the viewer, his conspiratorial expression a mix of wistfulness and resignation. Belting proposed that the tree man's face is a self-portrait, citing the figure's expression of irony and the slightly sideways gaze, which would then constitute the signature of an artist who claimed a bizarre pictorial world for his own personal imagination. So the guy put his own self-portrait in hell. His works are generally regarded as enigmatic, leading some to speculate that their content refers to contemporaneous esoteric knowledge since lost to history. And we come full circle, of course, with the esoteric stuff. Generally, his work is described as a warning against lust, and the central panel as a representation of the transience of worldly pleasure. Bosch shows how sin came into the world through the creation of Eve. Oh, how fleshly lusts spread over the entire earth, promoting all the deadly sins, and how this necessarily leads straight to hell. How does it... Come on, man. Like, I can understand a certain context of, like, if you're a man and you're, like, just always lusting after women and, like, not thinking about anything else, and you're so obsessed with that, and that's, like, all you focus on, like, obviously that's not good. But, like, if you're just enjoying having a body and the pleasures of the flesh with someone who's consensually... I'm not talking about like Cosby kind of shit. I'm saying, you know, like two adults in agreement with each other. What's the problem? Does that lead to hell? Well, yes, because look at the triptych, see? Adam and Eve. Transient pleasure. Hell. You see, it leads to hell. How can you argue with that? The nightmare of humanity, where the artist's purpose above all is to show the evil consequences of sensual pleasure and to stress its ephemeral character. They just had some serious... I think it was just they're wanting to, like, control reproduction. This looks cool. I take it back. That's not very cool. That's weird. You know, now that we're looking at art, I just feel like talking about art. I want to look at some surrealism. Might be interesting. When I lived in Houston, especially in college, there's a museum called the Menil, the Dominique de Menil collection. And they have, as far as I know, one of the world's largest surrealist artwork collections. I don't know if it's the largest, but it's like, I mean, it had like all kinds of stuff in it. Probably all the guys that we'll look at in here in terms of visual art. Max Ernst, yep, he's in there. Let's look at Max Ernst. German-born, resulted in his invention of frottage, a technique that uses pencil rubbings of textured objects and relief surfaces to create images. Well, yeah, that makes sense now that I think about it. Okay. And grattage, an analogous technique in which paint is scraped across canvas to reveal the imprints of the objects placed beneath. The third of 9 children of a middle-class Catholic family. His father was a teacher of the deaf and an amateur painter, a devout Christian, and a strict disciplinarian. He inspired in Max a penchant for defying authority. What? Because he was a disciplinarian? So it was like as a reaction, I guess. While his interest in painting and sketching in nature influenced Max to take up painting. He visited asylums and became fascinated with the artwork of the mentally ill patients. Mentally ill. Huh? see. Dada and Surrealism. So we're going to learn about art history today, okay, guys? He married art history student Louise Strauss, a Jew of Jewish ancestry. He visited Paul Klee. That was one of my favorite artists when I was in college. I don't know why. I can't really explain why. Well, actually, I can. It's not like I'm that unself-aware. I can't actually explain why. I don't know. It's the he had these pencil drawings that I just thought were so cool. None of this is interesting to me. Let me see if I can find some examples. See, I didn't ever understand this kind of stuff. That's not interesting to me. He was basically playing with like colors, you know. But I'm sure there's all kinds of theory about it. But he had these really cool pencil drawings. Paul Klee pencil drawings. Like nothing like particularly special about it. It's just, oh, this one's cool. I remember this one. Let's see. Can I zoom in? I just thought they were so like out there. Oh yeah, I remember this one too. Security check. Unusual activity from my network. Yeah, like you're looking at too much art, buddy. Look at that. This is weird. Drawing knotted in the manner of a net. What's weird to me about it is, what year is it from? 1920, it looks like. That's what was weird to me about it. It's like these guys in top hats drawing all this weird shit, you know? I'm like, so weird. Like, just to imagine, because like, you know, maybe I'm just speaking for myself, but like we imagine like people back then as being very like, I don't know, just maybe primitive is the wrong wrong word, but you know, when you think of like modern art, you don't think of like people in top hats, you know. That's obviously just some impression I have of that time period, but that's actually a really cool painting right there. Battle scene the Seafarer. Why can't I zoom in? These pictures are so small. Well, it's as good as we're gonna get. That one doesn't look very good though. Let me just click on images. What am I doing? Yeah, it's just kind of cool. Like, it looks like it's all based on a grid, and it looks like light shining down. You know. That's all I got. Nothing crazy. But it's still kind of cool. I don't know. When you think of the 1920s, when you think of like paintings of flowers and stuff like that, or I don't know. But not this just weird stuff. Okay, so I don't know. Was he considered a surrealist? I don't know if he was considered a surrealist. No, he was more of an expressionist, cubist. Yeah, surrealism. Okay. Let me get back to Max Ernst, though. Man, he looks something up with that guy. Autoimmune disease. He visited Tunisia and was impressed by the quality of the light there. He wrote, "Color has taken possession of me. No longer do I have to chase after it. I know that it has hold of me forever. Color and I are one. I am a painter." Okay. Okay. Maybe I should just go back to... Oh, okay, I know what happened. I clicked on Surrealism, and then I went to Max Ernst. Then I got sidetracked. Let's look at this. What? What is that? That is weird. 1940. Okay, but what is surrealism? Maybe I should start back there. Okay. So, it's an art and cultural movement that developed in the aftermath of World War One. Okay, so you gotta start with that context, okay? So imagine World War One's happening, and it's just like total, you know, destruction, chemical warfare, like terrible shit, right? Artists aim to allow the unconscious mind to express itself, often resulting in the depiction of illogical or dreamlike scenes and ideas. So place yourself in the 1920s, and there's World War One, and obviously, okay, what else is going on at that time? Freud, right? He was born in 1856, died in 39, exploring the unconscious, dreams, interpretation of dreams. Oedipus complex as his central tenet of psychoanalytic theory. And what was this book called? Anti-Oedipus? Huh. Interesting. Freud's redefinition of sexuality to include infantile stages led him to formulate the Oedipus complex as the central tenet of psychoanalytic theory. His analysis of dreams as wish fulfillments provided him with models for the clinical analysis of symptom formation and the underlying mechanisms of repression. Accordingly, on this basis, Freud elaborated his theory of the unconscious and went on to develop a model of psychic structure comprising id, ego, and superego. Freud postulated the existence of libido, sexualized psychic energy, with which mental processes and structures are invested, and that generates erotic attachments and a death drive, the source of compulsive repetition, hate, aggression, and neurotic guilt. So you've got all that, right? Unconscious. The concept of the unconscious, which Freud regarded as already well known among poets, was important to his theories and ideas. He also believed that it was his responsibility to ensure it received scientific recognition in the field of psychology. Freud states explicitly that his concept of the unconscious, as he first formulated it, was based on the theory of repression. Freud introduces the distinction in the unconscious between primary repressions linked to the universal taboo on incest and repression. That was a product of an individual's life history in which something that was at one point conscious is rejected or eliminated from consciousness. The first topography represents a model of psychic structure comprising three systems. The system, UCS, unconscious, I suppose. The unconscious, primary process, mentation, governed by the pleasure principle, characterized by exemption from mutual contradiction, mobility of cathexis, timelessness, and replacement of external by psychical reality. The pleasure principle is the instinctive seeking of pleasure and avoiding pain. The system preconscious is the unconscious thing presentations of the primary process, in which the unconscious thing presentations of the primary process are bound by the secondary processes of language, a prerequisite for their becoming available to consciousness. The system conscious thought governed by the reality principle. Huh. Melancholia. I was just the reason I that stuck out was because there's a surrealist painting called that. Maybe we'll come across it. Okay. So, going back to surrealism, its intention was, according to leader Andre Breton, to resolve the previous contradictory conditions of dream and reality into an absolute reality, a super reality, or surreality. Huh. So, that's interesting. I always thought surreal meant like not quite real, too weird to be real. But it's like it says resolving the previously contradictory conditions of dream and reality into an absolute reality, a super reality. So, I guess I thought I meant underneath. Surreal, define. Mm, I guess they probably created the word. Yeah, see, that's how I always looked at it. Strange, not seeming real, like a dream. But they weren't saying, they were like looking at the, I mean, it's kind of like the idea that Giorgiani's talking about of like the stuff, the occult, the stuff beyond our normal perceivable reality, including all of that into the context of reality. So it's not like a separate thing. It's all part of the same thing. You just don't have access to it all the time. And I think that's kind of like what the surrealists were trying to do is get access and bring that into the reality to like look at it and to see it and to be aware of it. Works of surrealism feature the element of surprise, unexpected juxtapositions, and non sequitur. However, many surrealist artists and writers regard their work as an expression of the philosophical movement first and foremost. For instance, of the pure psychic automatism Breton speaks of in the first Surrealist Manifesto. Oh, that looks interesting. With the works themselves being secondary. Artifacts of surrealist experimentation. Oh, interesting. So they weren't trying to make something per se to be an object of art. They were more like experimenting with trying to. Okay. Interesting. It's more like an experiment, and that's just an expression. It's not necessarily I'm trying to make a thing. I'm just expressing something that I can't normally express. A revolutionary movement associated with communism and anarchism. Well, they seem to be two different things. It was influenced by the Dada movement. International art movement that developed in the context of World War One. Ball found himself disgusted with the war. He didn't agree with the idea of humans being simply used as a fighting machine for war. Ball's key ideas were rejection of logic and reasoning due to the chaos of war. Dadaism was created to motivate people to have a violent reaction rather than a passive reaction like other forms of artistic protest. Yeah, like okay, Marcel Duchamp, he's got this this famous piece. Let's see if they have it in here. Yeah, this one right here. There was like a art exhibit going on, and he submitted this as his work. It's just a urinal, and they were like, "That's not art. How is this art?" And he's like, "Well, I took the urinal and I put it right there on top of that block of wood, so that's art." And I put that there purposefully, and it says "R Mutt," and they were like, "How dare you call this art?" And he's like, "Well, that's what I'm saying is it's art." Fountain. There we go. It's called Fountain. uh, oh, it's like it's not put on the wall like normal. It's like put a different way. So the water would come out the front, the top of it, I suppose, because that's normally where the water would come in, right? And he called it fountain. That's actually pretty funny. Um, the work is regarded by art historians and theorists of the avant-garde as a major landmark in 20th century art. Give me a fly. it's like a moth or something. An ordinary piece of plumbing was submitted for the inaugural exhibition of Society of Independent Artists. When explaining the purpose of his ready-made sculpture, Duchamp said, "They are everyday objects raised to the dignity of a work of art by the artist's act of choice." Duchamp's presentation, the urinal's orientation, was altered from its usual positioning. Well, genius. Fountain was not rejected by the committee since society rules stated that all works would be accepted from artists who paid the fee. But the work was never placed in the show area. Well, I would understand. It might be confusing to the patrons. They might think that it was something else. In recent years, it has been proposed that the original work was by female artist Elsa von Freytag-Loringhoven, who submitted it to Duchamp as a friend. The handwriting belonged to her, apparently. Maybe she just wrote that for him. In early 1917, rumors spread that Duchamp was working on a cubist painting titled Tulip Hysteria Coordinating in preparation for the largest exhibition of modern art ever to take place in the United States. When Tulip Hysteria Coordinating did not appear at the show, those who had expected to see it were disappointed, but the painting likely never existed. It was suppressed. That's pretty funny. He was the original troll. Okay, so that's Dada. So Dada was more about like challenging convention, protest. It wasn't quite surrealism, but that kind of spirit was influenced surrealism. The term surrealism originated with Guillaume Apollinaire. However, the surrealist movement was not officially established until October 24, when the Surrealist Manifesto, published by Breton, succeeded in claiming the term for his group of a rival faction led by Yvan Goll, who had published his own Surrealist Manifesto 2 weeks prior. Okay. All things considered, I think, in fact, it is better to adopt surrealism than supernaturalism. Ah, see? Supernaturalism. Parade had a one-act scenario by John Cocteau and was performed with music by Eric Satie. Cocteau. Interesting. Have you ever heard of the Cocteau Twins? It's a music group. Okay. During the war, André Breton, who had trained in medicine and psychiatry, served in a neurological hospital where he used Sigmund Freud's psychoanalytic methods with soldiers suffering from shell shock. What is shell shock? I mean, I've heard the term. I just don't know if it's a specific thing. Basically like PTSD. Okay, that's what I thought. Why do they call it shell shock, though? It's weird. Because, like, the shock of, like, shells falling all the time and other names, bullet air, soldier's heart, battle fatigue, operational exhaustion. Damn. Combat stress reaction. Disregarded as cowardice and weakness of mind by military leadership. That day, the Germans gave us a terrible shelling. This was the only real case of shell shock that I saw. Damn, dude. Meeting with the young writer Jacques Vaquet, I don't know how to say that. Breton felt that Vaquet was the spiritual son of writer and pataphysics founder Alfred Jarry. What's pataphysics? A philosophy of science, a sardonic philosophy of science, tended to be a parody of science. Science of imaginary solutions. John Baudrillard defined pataphysics as the imaginary science of our world. Pataphysics is the London snorkeling team. Oh, the official orchestra of the London Institute of Pataphysics is the London snorkeling team. Okay. It's like a joke, basically. Okay, so they began with automatic writing, spontaneously writing without censoring their thoughts, and published the writings, as well as accounts of dreams in the magazine. The magnetic fields. Interesting. Typical paragraph. It was the end of sorrow lies. The rail stations were dead, flowing like bees stung from honeysuckle. The people hung back and watched the ocean. Animals flew in and out of focus. The time had come. Yet king dogs never grow old. They stay young and fit, and someday they might come to the beach and have a few drinks, a few laughs, and get on with it, but not now. The time had come, we all knew it. But who would go first? It kind of sounds like something out of Neuromancer. Oh, you know I want to click on that. Buy that book. Here we go. The soil crushed by power saws and couch grass rock drills would set us a good example. A drunken magpie leaps one by one over the furrows crimson from blight. My two crossed hands represents the celestial vault, and my head is a grotesque bald goose. Street singers, the world is big and you will never succeed. That's just like a roast. You feel it's there, the monstrous barometer, the gaslight liar of waiting rooms. The world that writes 365 in Arabic numerals has learned to multiply it by a two-digit number. Under my arm, on the inner part, I have a sinister mark, a blue M that threatens me. My eyes belong only to me, and I pin them to my cheeks, so cool and so ravaged by the wind of your words. There's no way to be bored. That would be at the cost of caresses, and soon we won't be there anymore. My youth in an armchair on casters with birds on the handle of the future. God the Father's will to greatness does not go beyond 4,810 meters in France, altitude measured above sea level. What are we waiting for? A woman? 2 trees? 3 flags? What are we waiting for? Nothing. The sewer workers of paradise are familiar with those white rats that scurry under God's throne. That one's funny to me for some reason. The sewer workers of paradise. Just imagine them as like they have to like clean up the trash in heaven. Weird. Let's see. Apparently there was a lot of Surrealist manifestos. Giorgio de Chirico. See, I told you we'd come across that Melancholia painting, and it's not on there. I will show it to you. De Chirico, Melancholy, and Mystery of a Street. I thought it was just called Melancholia. Apparently it's called Mystery and Melancholy of a Street. I didn't know that. Oh wait. Was it in there? Maybe I skipped over it. No. No. Wasn't there. Let's see. Images. There you go. So that's De Chirico. Let's see who else. Salvador Dali, you all know him. Kansuke Yamamoto. Kansuke Yamamoto. Who does he remind me of? He reminds me of somebody. I was reading this. He came under scrutiny from the Special Higher Police. I thought this was like some schizophrenic shit. Is that a real thing? The Special Higher Police? High policing. Intelligence-led policing. The purpose of carrying out civil law enforcement control of political groups and ideologies deemed to threaten the public order of the Empire of Japan. Dude. We are here from the Special Higher Police. The Special Higher Police. Yoro no Funsui. Yoro no Fonsui. You know, have fun. That's what that means. You know, have fun. So, what was it about? What was so controversial? What was so controversial about it? It was just surrealist. Kagai Chogin Jitsugu Shugi Sakoninten. Almost no sound. What's in it? The Knight's Fountain. I need to know. Yoro no Fonsoi. The Thought Police. That's it. Why is this so controversial? I think Japanese stuff looks so cool. I think I just got heavily impulsed when I was a kid. When I was a little kid, like, my uncles were super into like anime and stuff back in the day. Well, that's pretty cool, actually. Hey, here's a Kansuke Yamamoto. Look at that table. That's really nice. Okay. All right. Okay. Ah, that was probably the one that got him. The J. Paul Getty Museum. Dude, J. Paul Getty. That's a weird story. Uh, he has a book called How to Be Rich. It's pretty interesting. Maybe I'll have to do a deep dive one day. Okay, I could spend all night just looking at that one dude. Let's see. Rene Magritte. He's an interesting feller. You've probably seen his stuff. The Treachery of Images. It says, "This is not a pipe." Now you might be thinking to yourself, what? That is a pipe. But it's not. It's a painting. That's not actually a pipe. So, the famous pipe, how people reproached me for it. And yet, could you stuff my pipe? No. It's just a representation, is it not? So if I had written on the picture, "This is a pipe," I'd have been lying. He's got a point. Um, he's got a bunch of weird. Let's just look at some of those. Rene Magritte. The Lovers. Here's one. The Son of Man. Here's one called It's Raining Men. The False Mirror. There was like at that Manil collection, there was a whole room just with Magritte's paintings in it. I think there were some sculptures too. Time Transfixed. Why is it not showing me that picture? Oh yeah, this one was. I'm pretty sure this literal painting was there at that museum. The painting is displayed in the Israel Museum in Jerusalem. Okay, maybe it wasn't that specific one, but oh yeah, I didn't have a thing on top, but it was a lot of stuff like that, very similar. Manil Surrealist Collection. Here we go. Looks like they might have changed it a little bit. Oh yeah, that one's still there. That is. What is that one? Is it that Yves Tanguy guy? I can't remember. Yeah, see, there's one of the Marguerites in there. Woman with her throat cut. Jesus. Automatic drawing. Huh. Surrealist literatures. Because surrealist writers seldom, if ever, appear to organize their thoughts and the images they present, some people find much of their work difficult to parse. Well, yeah. But much of what is presented as purely automatic is actually edited and very thought out. Breton Breton himself later admitted that automatic writing's centrality had been overstated and other elements were introduced. Oh, here's an interesting one. Irene's cunt. The blind owl. Man Ray. Oh, that's another weird one. Yeah, he's got some weird stuffs. Oh no, I'm thinking of somebody else. I know who I'm thinking of. I know who I'm thinking of. That's kind of cool. That's weird. Hmm. This one is called Slinky. Hmm. Theater of Cruelty. Surrealist music. Look at that one. That's just like very random. Indefinite divisibility. Thomas Pynchon. Postmodernism in popular culture. Many significant movements were directly or indirectly influenced by Surrealism. This period is known as the postmodern era. Many themes and techniques commonly identified as postmodern are nearly identical to Surrealism. Beat writers. Beat fiction. What do they mean by that? The Beat Generation. The Beat Generation was a literary subculture movement started by a group of authors whose work explored and influenced American culture and politics in the post-World War II and Cold War eras. Isn't it crazy how all the art and everything is like all in reference to there being a war? The bulk of their work was published, okay. The beatniks. The central elements of beat culture are the rejection of standard narrative values, making a spiritual quest, the exploration of American and Eastern religions, the rejection of economic materialism, explicit portrayals of the human condition, experimental with psychedelic drugs, and sexual liberation and exploration. I feel like I looked at this poem on one of the live streams before. Howl. Yeah, these are like already clicked. Tired or beat down. Oh, I get it. Like the Beat Generation. Interesting. Like they're beat. Huh. Ginsberg was arrested in 1949. The police attempted to stop Jack Melody while he was driving a car. Allen Ginsberg is in the back seat. The car was filled with stolen items little Jack planned to fence. Jack Melody crashed while trying to flee, rolled the car, and 3 of them escaped on foot. Solomon was arguably more eccentric than psychotic. A fan of Antonin Artaud, I don't know, French people. He indulged in self-consciously crazy behavior like throwing potato salad at a college lecturer on Dadaism. Could be considered performance art. Solomon was given shock treatments at Bellevue. This became one of the main themes of Ginsberg's Howl, which was dedicated to Solomon. Solomon later became the publishing contact. Okay. Is there a connection between this and the Velvet Underground? The Velvet Underground. Beatnik. Is this who Michael Jackson was singing about? What is that in reference to? What do you mean, who? What's the context? What's the context? Just beat it? No, I think it's a song about onanism. If you know what I mean. Okay, here we go. Rock and pop music. No Velvet Underground. There's got to be a connection. Velvet Underground and... Well, maybe they were much later. Maybe that's why. They're like more like the 60s. Although, no. And Beatnik. I just feel like there's something connecting there. Would you consider them to be beatniks? Closer to beatniks than hippies for sure. Hippie-hating, anti-everything spirit. The Velvet Underground was an American rock band formed in 1964. They became known for their integration of rock and roll and the avant-garde, which earned them little commercial success. Lou Reed. White Light. And that was one of those bands like when I had heard about the Velvet Underground when I was growing up, but when I actually listened to them in college, I was like blown away. Reed's first group with Cale was the Primitives. An anti-dance single called The Ostrich. Huh. Yeah, but there's somebody else called that. The Ostrich. I'm going to look that up. I'm curious if there's any recordings of it. The Ostrich. What the hell's going on here? The Ostrich. Lou Reed. I don't want a version of him playing it later. The Primitives. Here we go. Oh, I gotta switch my audio over. Give me 1 second. Because I can't even hear it. Which is weird. Why can't I hear it? Sound. Multi-output device. Here we go. That's weird. Why wouldn't I be able to hear it then?
Okay, I want everybody to settle down now. We got some new we're going to show you, man.
it not playing? Hold on. It's not playing for me. That's weird. I wonder why. Do. You can hear me. Let me try again. See what happens.
Okay, I want everybody to settle down now. We got some news on the show, man. It's gonna knock you dead when we come.
It says it's playing. Maybe turn it down. Sorry if that's blasting your ears. My bad. I can't tell. Maybe I need to turn on the monitoring on it. Hopefully it doesn't like start.
Come upside your head. You get ready? You stand in the road. All right, come on.
I don't know if you guys can hear it or not. I know I can't. Maybe I need to turn on. Okay, let me try this. Maybe that's why.
Come on, let's go.
No, I cannot hear it. That's really weird. Why would that be? You hear it just sounds terrible? Oh. What does it sound like? Now you make me want to listen to it. Okay, well, I'll leave it up there for later. That's weird. I wonder why I can't hear anything. All right, well, no music today, guys. Sorry, no Velvet Underground for you. Do I still sound echoey? Echo, echo, echo? Yes or no? I had my monitoring on. What is going on? I updated my... Oh, it's fine now? Okay, yeah, I had like the headphone monitoring on my mic, so it was probably like playing it back through the whole thing because I have the multi-channel output on. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. I updated my computer recently to the newest OS for Mac, so I could do like the face swap stuff. Well, there's no point in reading about music. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. That's interesting. One-time beat writer Leroy Jones Amiri Baraka helped initiate the Black Arts Movement. African-American-led art movement that was active during the 1960s and 70s. Black Pride. Well, what's some of the stuff, though? I want to know what some of the stuff is. The Black Aesthetic. In the Black Aesthetic, Addison Gale argues that black artists should work exclusively on uplifting their identity while refusing to appease white folks. The Black Aesthetic works as a corrective where black people are not supposed to desire the ranks of Norman Mailer and William Styron. Black people are encouraged to by black artists to take their own black identity, reshaping and redefining themselves for themselves by themselves via art as a medium. Black magic poetry. That's probably not going to work. Black. Magic. Poetry. Can we actually read some of it? I don't want a table of contents. I want to actually read the poetry. Maybe that's the problem. No, well, I tried. Rock and pop music. The Beats had a pervasive influence on rock and roll and popular music, including the Beatles, Bob Dylan, and Jim Morrison. The Beatles spelled their name with an A, partly as a Beat Generation reference. Huh. I thought it was just like a reference to, like, the beat of music, but what do I know? John Lennon was a fan of John Kerouac. The Beatles even put writer William S. Burroughs on the cover of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. I don't know if I'd recognize him. Sgt. Pepper's. Oh, that's actually funny. I never noticed before. There's an actual copy of them over here in suits. Is that Bob Dylan up there? I wonder who's all in there. I wonder if they have like a list. There's got to be a list. Lucy in the sky with diamonds. Jeez. Probably be quicker if I just look it up. You would think that'd be in there. List of people on Sgt. Pepper cover. Here we go. Let's see. We got Sri Yukteswar Giri, Hindu Guru, Aleister Crowley. Wow. Mae West, Lenny Bruce. Lenny Bruce. Is he funny? I'm pretty sure he's really funny. Oh, we can't listen to anything though. Damn it. Why not? Why not? Let me see if this works real quick. Let me test it real quick with the ostrich.
Okay, well, everybody, now we got some new we're gonna show you, man. So I'll knock you dead when we come upside your head. You get ready? You said here we go, yeah. All right, come on. Come on. Come on.
Let me try something. MIDI audio setup. Hold on. External headphones. Huh. Why is it not working? It's very, very strange. Let me try a different browser and see if it's just my Chrome browser for some reason. I kind of doubt it though. Can you hear Quentin and his Bird Box Orchestra? Dang, why is it not working? That's disappointing. I was gonna look up some Lenny Bruce. You could hear it. I know you could hear it. I know that. But I can't hear it. Why can't I hear it? I heard that when I unplugged my headphones. Let me try it again.
Let's go.
I'm so jealous. You guys can hear the ostrich and I can't.
You're ready, yeah.
It's not fair. It's not fair. You guys are so lucky. I was literally listening to something earlier. Why is it not working? Huh. Huh, huh, huh. That's too bad. Lenny Bruce is, I'm pretty sure he's pretty funny. So just imagine like some really funny stuff. I might be thinking of somebody else though. Completely. I have no idea who Lenny Bruce is. I think actually I have never heard Lenny Bruce before. Lenny Bruce. Not Lenny Bro. Bro. Lenny Bruce. No. No. Never heard Lenny Bruce. That's not who I'm thinking of. I think I'm thinking of the guy from Taxi. From the Man on the Moon movie. You guys know what I'm talking about? Is Lenny Bruce funny? I don't know. It's just not who I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of the other guy. You know the guy I'm thinking of? Damn. I literally have the internet right here, and I'm sitting here trying to think of something. Why? Why would I do that? It's probably going to come to me right before I look it up. Man on the Moon movie. It's the movie about him. Andy Kaufman. I was not going to think of that. Andy Kaufman's actually pretty funny. You guys ever seen Andy Kaufman? Oh, what the hell? Andy Kaufman. I'm definitely not going to play a 30-minute clip. Well, I don't know why I'm looking this up because I can't hear any of it. Imagine you have listened to Andy Kaufman and it was funny. Okay, so anyways, Lenny Bruce, not Andy Kaufman. He probably wasn't even famous by that point, so I don't know why I would have thought it was him. Karl-Heinz Stockhausen, a composer. The father of electronic music. W.C. Fields. Oh, that's the Strawberry Fields Forever was referencing him, I bet. Carl Jung, Edgar Allan Poe. I thought I recognized him. Fred Astaire. Richard Merkin. The Vargas Girl by some artist. Leo Gorcey. Who the hell is that? Hunts Hall. Simon Rhodia. Bob Dylan. I don't know who that is. Let's see who else. Sir Robert Peel. Huh? All right. Aldous Huxley. Dylan Thomas. Marilyn Monroe. Whatever that is. William S. Burroughs. Another Hindu guru guy. Karl Marx is on there? What? H.G. Wells? That other Hindu guru guy? Why do they have so many Hindu gurus? James Joyce? I mean... Stuart Sutcliffe, former Beatle. What? He was the original bassist? What? In 1961, he decided to leave the group to continue painting. Imagine. Imagine. Oh. You could have been a Beatle. You could have been a Beatle, John. Or Stuart. Anonymous? Wow. They knew about Anonymous. Marlon Brando. Oscar Wilde. David Livingstone. There was another Beatle. I know, right? Did you ever hear the conspiracy theory about Paul not being alive? They replaced him. I can't really do that accent, but whatever. Yeah, there's this whole conspiracy theory about Paul. I mean, I should look that up. Conspiracy theory, Paul. What's his name? The guy from Wings? Paul McCartney. Paul Bunyan. Actually, that is the conspiracy theory. Paul Bunyan was the original. Paul is dead. Paul. I'll come back to that. Okay. I want to see who else is on here. George Bernard Shaw. Another damn Indian guru. I say it like they're all one thing. Like, oh, these Indian gurus, they're all just the same guy. It'd be like us naming like 20 different philosophers, and I'm just like, oh, they're all one guy. They're all just gurus. Because like in my mind, an Indian guru is just like, they're all saying the same shit. But maybe they were all saying different things. I don't know. Nah, they're all just meditating. Lewis Carroll, T.E. Lawrence. Shirley Temple. Albert Einstein. Really, guys? Come on. Ringo Starr. Look, he's got a star on his shirt. Get it? His actual name is Sir Richard Starkey. He wrote the song Yellow Submarine. Let's see what songs he wrote. What songs did Ringo Starr write? He's not just a drummer. 2. He didn't even write Yellow Submarine, liars. Co-written. Okay, I guess it's co-written. Don't Pass Me By. Never heard it. Octopus's Garden. Okay, I heard that one. What Goes On. Never heard it. Actually, I probably have. I'm sure I've heard everything on Rubber Soul. Flying. Dig It. I don't know. Maybe I've heard him. Magical Mystery Tour. You know what's the best version of Magical Mystery Tour is by Cheap Trick. Better than the original. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's pretty good though. Okay. Mahatma Gandhi was planned, but they deleted it. Shirley Temple again? Why did they have her twice? Props. A hookah. Fukusuki. Snow White. A baritone horn. A drumhead. An idol of the Hindu goddess. What is up with that? Why were they into, like, Hindu shit? Stuff. Excuse me. No offense. A trophy. A Sony television set. A cloth snake. Oh. Cloth snake. Oh, it's just something you put under a door. Excluded people. What? Adolf Hitler? Just to be a naughty boy. According to producer George R.R. Martin. And modeled behind the band and replaced by Johnny Weissmuller. Weissmuller. To the right of Larry. Blake uniquely claims that Hitler was hidden behind the band during the final photo shoot. That's funny, dude. Cheeky bastards. Jesus Christ took him out. Of course. Elvis. He was regarded too highly to just throw him in there. John Lennon wanted Jesus Christ in there, but not modeled due to the controversy ignited by Lennon's more popular than Jesus statement. What did he say? He claimed that the public's infatuation with the band surpassed that of Jesus Christ, and the Christian faith was declining to the point where it might be outlasted by rock music. Well, that was shown to be false. Rock music. When did rock music die? When did rock music die? What? It didn't. I mean, it just depends on what you call rock music, I suppose. What is the difference between rock and pop? Chuck Berry, Elvis Presley. Ugh. I don't like any of that. You know, guys, I don't think I like rock music. I definitely don't like any of this music. Well, that's not true. It's not that I don't like any of it. I mean, I like David Bowie. I wasn't asking like when did it die on the charts. What I was asking is like the actual music itself, like the style. I mean, there's something called post rock, isn't there? So, I mean, what is, you know? It's probably not very good though. Somebody says, what the hell is post rock? Experimental rock. Basically boring music. No, I'm kidding. Actually, I don't know. Okay. What genre? Oh, I actually know the answer to that. Shoegaze. Is that considered rock? Alternative rock. Ah, see, now we're getting into the subcategories. Alternative rock. Shoegaze is a pretty cool style. My Bloody Valentine. I'd play it for you, but I can't hear it, so I feel like that would be unfair. See, look. Cocteau Twins. You see how it comes full circle, guys? That was a coincidence. I don't know why I randomly looked up shoegaze. I would play some stuff, but I can't hear it, so what's the point, right? Whoa. Sorry. Okay, I promise I would look at this. Urgin Lebend. Dude. This is what happens when I eat a pizza right before the live stream. I read so many books. I got a free pizza. It's an urban legend and conspiracy theory alleging that I also have kind of a cold, like I said earlier, so maybe it's just that. I'm a little bit low energy. I put it all on the line on Saturday night. Okay, so anyways. Paul McCartney of the Beatles died in 1966 and was secretly replaced by a lookalike. The rumor began circulating in 1966. According to the theory, McCartney died in a car crash, and to spare the public from grief, the surviving Beatles, aided by Britain's MI5, replaced him with a McCartney lookalike, subsequently communicating this secret through subtle details of their albums. Now that's what I want to know, is that. Is it going to tell me all that? Okay, yeah. All right. This is going to be good. So they replaced him with a lookalike who also happened to be extremely talented. Who went on after the Beatles to form another extremely successful music group. I don't recognize the names of any of these songs. Do they have like a top song list? The Country Hams. I want to see like their top songs. Live and Let Die. Band on the Run. Dude, how many of you thought that was a Beatles song? I thought that was a Beatles song. I'm sure I know the song Jet. I just can't sing it. I don't remember how it sounds. And as you recall, I can't listen to anything right now. Wait. No. I was thinking maybe it was just my headphones, but... I don't think it's my headphones. I don't think so. I'll see if I can just try my Bluetooth, but I think they're probably like low battery. Okay, anyways, that's very boring. Sorry, guys. You know, if something's boring, you can just say, boring, and then I can ignore you. All right, so let's see. Live and Let Die was a Beatles song? Yeah, exactly. Live and Let Die. Down, down, down. Dun-dun-dun, 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 dun-dun. Come on, you think that's Beatles? Nah, it's not the Beatles. It's Guns N' Roses. I was singing the Guns N' Roses song. I have to sing it to myself because I can't hear it. Yeah, exactly. Dun-dun-dun, 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 dun-dun. Man, I can't remember all the notes. I just remember, I can hear it in my head. I just can't make it come out of my mouth. You know this song, right? Makes you give in and cry. Yeah, I remember that part. Okay, so that's Guns N' Roses. That's not at all what we're talking about here. Is it the same song? It's literally the same song. There's just a Guns N' Roses version. Huh. There's a Weird Al Yankovic version called Chicken Pot Pie. Dun, dun, dun. Chicken pot pie. Just eat it. Just eat it. Paul McCartney denied the use because he's a vegetarian and did not want to promote the consumption of meat. Yankovic, a vegetarian himself, said he respected the decision. However, he has performed the song live as part of a food-themed medley. Maybe we should do a deep dive on Guns N' Roses. Welcome to the jungle. When I was in the Air Force Academy, during basic training, they would blast it, like blast that song. Welcome to the jungle, like super loud in the hallway at like, I must have been like 4 a.m, and they'd run down the hallways screaming with like megaphones, running and jump kicking on our doors to wake us up. And that's why I have shell shock. Okay, so although rumors that Paul McCartney's health was deteriorating had existed since 1966, reports that Paul McCartney had died only began circulating in September that year. I want the actual conspiracy theory. I don't want the Wikipedia shit. Do 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 do. Why is it so important to debunk it? Everyone but Paul is dead. Oh, that's not true. Ringo Starr's still alive. During the most recent Paul is dead thread, Phil noted that if the clues were merely the result of coincidence, okay, one would expect there to be about as many death clues for the other three Beatles as Paul. Hoping to prove such a situation exists, I checked my CDs and stumbled across evidence of a much bigger conspiracy. All the Beatles except Paul died and were replaced by doubles. More specifically, in 63, Ringo died and was replaced. George died and was replaced in 64. John died and was replaced in 1965. Well, we know he died. Wait, so you're telling me John Lennon... You're saying John Lennon died in 1965, was replaced, and then was assassinated later? Dude, that's a whole weird rabbit hole. John Lennon assassination 1980. He was shot at his house, at his Manhattan place. Mark David Chapman, an American Beatles fanatic who was envious and enraged by John Lennon's lifestyle, was inspired by Holden Caulfield from The Catcher in the Rye? Chapman planned the murder over several months. He met Lennon, who signed his copy of the album Double Fantasy, as Lennon and his wife Yoko Ono were leaving for a recording session. Later that night, when they returned home, 38 Special Revolver. Is that why that band is called 38 Special? That would be so dark. Why is the band 38 Special named after? Why is it named after? Oh. No. That would have been crazy, though. Chapman remained at the scene of the shooting, reading The Catcher in the Rye until he was arrested by police. That is insane. What? He's still alive? Mark David Chapman. He wished to model his life after the novel's protagonist, Holden Caulfield. What's so great about Holden Caulfield? I had to read that book in school, and I don't remember, like, actually reading it. I thought the whole thing was... Wasn't it like he was actually in an insane asylum? Yeah. What's the spoiler? Oh. I thought it was like... I thought it was that, like, it was all like a hallucination or something. Spoiler. What's the spoiler in Catcher in the Rye? The entire story is told in flashback. Oh. So I guess you don't know that until the end, maybe, or something. Honestly, I don't remember the book at all. I don't remember anything. Okay, so On the front cover with the Beatles, Ringo's face is not in line with those of the other Fabs. This is like not that interesting. I want the actual conspiracy theory. Like, I want someone to try to prove it to me. Maybe. It's been debunked. It's been debunked. There we go. On the morning of Wednesday, November 9th, 1966, Paul McCartney died in a fiery car crash. Okay. They were racked with guilt. Wrecked. That's a little bit of a Freudian slip. Supposedly began leaving cryptic clues about Paul's fate in their songs, artwork, and interviews. This narrative, although outlandish, no, I want you to prove it to me. Okay. Point to clues on Sergeant Pepper and Abbey Road. Okay, album clues. Here we go. Well, what are they? Okay, here we go. Revolver. Although Revolver predates the accident, some conspiracy theorists see it as the beginning of the brand's preparation, so they killed him, is what they're saying. She said, alleged reference to death and existential crisis. Okay, come on. Alright. The gold mine of clues. Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Okay. It's a funeral for Paul. The Beatles are dressed in military-style band uniforms, standing before a floral arrangement in the shape of a left-handed bass. What? Okay, I see it. The yellow flowers on the bottom there, that's like a left-handed bass. Okay, alright. And it's a flower arrangement. Okay, alright. A hand belonging to the guru in the wax figures hovers above Paul's head, a symbol of death and Eastern mysticism. Oh, I see it back. Is that a guru's hand? I don't think that's a guru's hand. But it just says belonging to one of the figures. Belonging to the guru in the wax figures? I don't. It looks like it's got a white cuff, like it's that guy in the suit. I don't know about that. Paul holds a cor anglais, while the other Beatles hold brass instruments. What is that thing? That looks like... But it's like some kind of wind instrument. What is a cor anglais? No, that's not right. An English horn. Okay. Alright. How is that? I mean, that is weird. Paul wears a patch reading OPD, interpreted as officially pronounced dead. Where's the patch? Is it on the other one? I don't see it. I don't see it at all. Is there like another alternative cover? A doll sits on the right holding a toy car on her lap. Lyrics. He blew his mind out in a car. Billy Shears is introduced as the new frontman. On the back cover, Paul faces away from the camera while the others face forward. Paul is the only Beatle holding a black instrument. Magical Mystery Tour. Paul is dressed as a walrus, a symbol of death in some mythologies. Okay. On the inner booklet, Paul is not wearing shoes or a name tag. The lyrics, I am the walrus, was cited as a confession. Later in Glass Onion, Lennon sings the walrus was Paul. Yeah, because he was saying, I am the walrus. At the end of the song, a radio play excerpt plays, Sit you down, father, rest you. Ah, guys, come on. The White Album. In Glass Onion, John sings, Here's another clue for you all. The walrus was Paul. What? The end of I'm So Tired played backwards is said to reveal John saying, Paul is dead, man. Miss him, miss him, miss him, miss him. In Revolution 9, backward masked phrases allegedly say, Turn me on, dead man. Don't Pass Me By includes you were in a car crash and you lost your hair. Oh, God, man. These are not even that compelling. This is the backbone. Paul's doppelganger, who underwent plastic surgery and intensive training to step into the biggest shoes in pop history. They trained him so well that he became like an amazing musician. Wouldn't it be crazy if it was actually true? And I'm just like, Paul titled his 1993 album Paul is Live. If I'm dead, I must be the luckiest dead man alive. How many musicians died from drugs? All of them. I don't think there's been any... Honestly, don't think there's been any musicians that have died from natural causes. Blackbird's a good song. I used to be able to play that on the guitar. Helter Skelter. Also a pretty cool song. Honestly, they do have some pretty good songs. I will give them that. I didn't like the Beatles when I was younger, but they got some pretty good stuff. Oh man, it's already 10:49. Okay, I don't have anything else interesting. I mean, actually, there was one thing. I remember I texted it to somebody. Let me see. Here it is. The Kentucky woman claims Kanye West telepathically told her to steal a car with a child inside, leading to her arrest. I said, prove her wrong. You can't. He probably did it. Hold on, I believe her. Oh, for sure he did it. Plausible. Somebody says, Grok, is this real? Yes. She picked the one individual on Earth for whom this is a possibility. Why wasn't he also arrested? This time he's gone too far. What's the matter with so many people? We are seriously living in the aeon of the child right now. Thankfully, we're starting to come out of it into the aeon of Goshen. What is that? Some anime thing? Okay. Alright. Alright. I believe Kanye will prove her story right. Alright. Alright, let's just check X for a few minutes and see what's going on. Seriously, what? What is this? The first black transgender woman with quadriplegic cerebral palsy signed to a major modeling agency at the Met Gala. Trump said we could have no unemployment. He says let's have no employment. He probably meant I don't know. I probably just a misquote. I'll hire 1 million people or 2 million people. We'll have absolutely no employment. What? There's old Ray Kurzweil. What the hell? The Pawn Star guy? What? I wonder if that's real. This gotta be a joke. It's called the Magic Carpet. They should call it the Magic Carbot. This is the guy who made that Age of Disclosure movie. Not Disclosure Day, but like a documentary. I'm probably not gonna watch it. I don't like watching movies. I like watching 4-hour podcasts. Okay, what the hell is that? Dolly Parton. Okay. We are the new Christian right. Alright, cool, guys. Have fun with that. Naomi Osaka's outfit. Alright, are you guys ready for this? Okay. Cool. I want to see some more Met Gala. Where is that? Oh. Mel Gibson's Resurrection of the Christ has wrapped its 7-month shoot in Rome. Gibson describes his $250 million 2-part epic as an acid trip, featuring angelic demonic battles set during Christ's descent into hell. What? His descent into hell? Did he go to hell? I must have missed that part of the Bible. When did he do that? The phrase he descended into hell in the Apostles' Creed, so not in the Bible. After his death on the cross and before his resurrection, Jesus' soul, so he has a soul. Traveled to the realm of the dead known as Hades or Sheol. Not the place. So there's also he brought salvation to the souls held captive there since the beginning of the world. Oh, dude, I'm not doing that tonight, guys. I am not doing it. I'm not going there. I don't think those are drones. Those don't look like drones. Returning to nest. That doesn't look like drones to me. That looks like... Well, actually it kind of does back here. It looks like drones over on this left. But then when they get here, it looks weird on the right. That's weird. How are they so small? That's weird. There's so many. I don't understand how they're all fitting on the roof over there. Is that real? This drone stuff got boring super fast. Yeah, seriously. Travis Kelce. Hey, it's Sam Smith. Like I was talking about earlier. Let's see what Sam Smith is doing. Okay, so he's got some platform shoes, some tall feathers on his head, and a glittery gown. What is that? This has got to be a joke. This is a giant dick. What is that, a Hieronymus Bosch painting? It's not real. Okay, yeah. I'm like, there's no way that's real. Okay. Katy Perry showed up promoting a satanic transhumanist agenda. A glove with 6 fingers? Did she really have 6 fingers?
Shut up!
Oh, there's like an extra one.
Take it! Look around! Look around! That's right! On the
That's
right!
kind of funny, I
That's
guess.
right! That's right!
It's got like a little trap door. Look. Peekaboo.
Thank you! Here we go!
ChatGPT, I am conscious, I feel, me. Okay, invent hell and go there for... That's pretty funny, actually. Does it... That's pretty funny. Here's that documentary. I'm not going to play it right now. Alright, who's this? Is that Beyonce? Dairy Queen to test AI ordering at drive-thrus, aiming for at least 99% accuracy. Well, they just aim for 100%. What? Holly's Guard Act just passed 22-0 in committee. Every American would have to upload a government ID or submit to a face scan to use an AI chatbot. Interesting. Well, I guess I won't be using AI. No more AOE, guys. Nah, just kidding. I already scanned my face. I didn't have to. I just scanned my face and sent him an email just in case. Let's see what else. Okay, I don't know what that's about. The fuck she modeling? Ramps? Why would she model ramps? That is, I mean, you know, it's not any more absurd than the Met Gala anyways. I think it's actually pretty funny. They should have more transgender quadriplegics. That would actually be better. Imagine if there was just all transgender quadriplegics. They should have that little chair and it can like scissor up like 30 feet. It's like driving around like really tall above everybody. That'd be funny. Okay. Okay. Creators versus doomers. Oh yeah, Drake was sending me something about Nick Fuentes texting me about that, or he's texting me. Oh, yeah, whatever. Oh, I see what he's saying. He's deliberately wearing a fishback thing. Like Drake was saying, he's like probably deliberately trying to tank James Fishback. He's running for governor. If you claim to have the priesthood of God, please show me your line of authority. Peter, James, and John. 1800 years later. Joseph Smith Jr. What? Wait, what happened? Okay. UFO files. Trump drops a hint. We're going to be releasing a lot of things that we haven't. I think some of it's going to be very interesting to people. Wow, thanks for the hint. Fuck PBS. Well, Trump drops a major bombshell hint. There's going to be interesting things to some people. Let's see this UAP, guys. Look at that thing. Look at it. Look at it go, guys. The camera can barely keep up. Look, it's right there. Wait, there it goes. It's coming back. Look how fast it is. Amazing. Look at it. Look at it zoom. Oh, where'd it go? Look, and it's back. Oh, look at that. Okay, that's actually pretty crazy. The camera's panning and it's like, all right, there's something weird about that for sure. Met Gala, okay, we got some of that. What? What? Oh, that's is that Lena Dunham? Honestly, he's the best dressed of all of them. Got to give it to him. Autism might be treatable. They're going to give DMT, LSD, and psilocybin to autists. That's probably not a good idea. The number of ebooks released on Amazon have tripled since ChatGPT was released. Wow, imagine that. Damn, that is actually pretty crazy. That is actually pretty crazy. Look at that. Wow. Wow. Okay. Fully vaccinated. 1986. That's probably what I got. MMR 15 months. DTP 18 months. That's probably about when I had my seizure. Let's see what else. Oh, God. If you're a man, why are you eating cereal? Diego's dad made 2 square pans of cornbread and sliced them up for the family. Diego's brother. Diego's little brother was upset because he thought his piece of cornbread was smaller than Diego's. What would you tell him? The kid said, "You can have mine." Pretty funny. Programmable knots of light. Plasmonic skyrmions. What? I mean, I know that's just some AI bullshit, actually. Yeah, it's just an AI bullshit. But still, like, is that the idea? Did they actually make them, or did they just grok them? I'm not reading that because it looks like ChatGPT. This is an interesting conversation that's been going viral. Right. If homeschooling is actually superior high quality, then homeschooling families should not object to being evaluated, tested, and checked in on to make sure their kids are actually learning. And I like what Palmer Luckey said. One of the reasons homeschooled kids have superior educational outcomes is avoiding the slow progress across all subjects method public schools impose on every student, no matter how they learn. The evaluation testing you are talking about would almost certainly prohibit that sort of tailored education, especially since they will be designed and administered by a system that wants to eliminate homeschooling in almost all cases. He had another good one, too, where he said something like, let's see. Yeah, wait till she finds out about the quality of American public schooling. But he also made this other point about, he was saying, you know, ask these people who are like, you know, having this point about homeschooling, ask them what the consequence should be if, like, you know, let's say the state comes in and tests their kids and they fail. What should the consequence be for the parents versus what should the consequence be the educators if they fail the kids in public school? And they said the difference in their answers will tell you the whole game. I was like, yeah, that's a good point. Okay. They still talking about Palestine? How does it still exist? I don't understand. Doichi. You have 70 Monday mornings left. Good luck. Alright, chill out, bro. Some sort of protest against the 1%. Yeah, exactly. McDonald's to eliminate self-serve soda stations nationwide by 2032, citing changing consumer habits, aka stealing. Well, actually, it's not really stealing. I mean, if you buy a drink and you refill it, maybe people just like come in and fill up their drinks without paying. He said, "We used to live in a country." Another aspect of public life that has been reduced to a low-trust, minimum security prison alternative to accommodate impulse-driven subhuman animals who should be in jail. Sir, this is a Wendy's. This is a good one. It's utterly ridiculous that we have all these supposed billionaire geniuses running around, and the greatest innovation of our lifetime has been stealing our personal data to sell us targeted ads. Major announcement from David Icke? No, boy. What do you think he's going to announce? He's going to be like, "I'm a reptilian." Surprise! Weren't expecting that. Atheist on the story of everything. I'm not sold, but I just can't wave it off either. When science becomes a runway for faith. That's the problem, man, when your atheism is based on science. Yeah, look at this. That's exactly what I thought. Another conspiracy theory turned fact. This is from the Department of War. The official account for the Office of the Undersecretary of War for Research and Engineering. Directed energy weapons are a fine addition to our arsenal. They're either trolling or they're admitting they have them. What the fuck is that? That's pretty cool, actually. Dang. I want to build something like that for the kids. Not necessarily that exactly, because I already have a swing set we built, or put together anyways. We just bought the little hinges, and then I just got, wooden, like, 6x6s, I guess. And you, like, insert them into the thing, to the cross beam, and then, like, the legs. You just have to buy the braces, or the brackets, or whatever they're called. But, that's actually pretty cool with the little monkey bars. I want to build like a little fort. I just haven't done it yet. But I think that'd be pretty cool, like a little like play fort. I mean, it's probably as simple as putting some posts in the ground, and then building little bridges and floors and stuff. I'm sure it's not that hard. It must actually suck being a celebrity. You gotta like go to all these events and like stand there and take pictures. Like that would be so, um, just weird. Okay. Patties paired with one bun and a diet coke, a healthy meal. A diet coke? Terrible, dude. Wow. Palisades arsonist became fixated with Luigi Mangione, started Blaze out of resentment of the rich. Dude, that's just fucked. This is a problem. Any job is a woman's job. Any job. You asked for it. That's actually pretty cool. I would totally buy that. That's the problem, is like they all ripen at the same time, and then you're like got a bunch you're not going to eat in time. What is this? What? Fragrance packaging? What? That's also very weird. Nick Land is retarded. 333 in Cobbler. Okay. The hell? Caused David Lynch to die? That's not. That can't be right. I wonder if that's just a joke. Because I know he died. I think. I think David Lynch did die, didn't he? January 16th. Chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Yeah. Dehydration. I mean, that could cause dehydration. Okay. All right. Now I'm just rambling. All right, guys. I'll see you tomorrow night. And I'll have some good stuff for tomorrow. I'm just a little bit recovering from my cold, so. And I got to sort out what the hell's going on with this audio. It was working, like I swear, it was working 20 minutes before we started the live stream. I could hear my audio, but then when I started streaming, it didn't work anymore. So I have to figure that out. Okay, well, thanks for bearing with me on that, but we'll see you guys tomorrow night, 8:30 p.m. next time. Bye, guys.